Just I'm saying. Now is it better? Yes. Yeah, good. Because I put the back screen, the computer backside, so it reflect my face. And same time also I can have more reflect the lights. Like in movies, movies, they could reflect the light on the face. Om Gangurabhyo Namaha. Om Ganganapataye Namaha. Om Aim Saraswate Namaha. Om Kling Kalikaye Namaha. Om Kling Bhadrakalli Namaha. Om Dam Durgaye Namaha. Om Rim Namah Shivaya. Harihi Om. Sankaram Shankaracharyam Kesavam Badarayanam Sutrabhasakritam Vande Bhagavanto Punaha Punaha Ishvara Garudatmete Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyavadayata Dehaya Sri Dachina Murtaye Namaha Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om. So, through prayers, the light also came. So today we are going to study the Tattva Bodha. Tattva Bodha. So I had to find just for give me some moments where I put the book Tattva Bodha. Actually, there was Tattva Bodha book. Just give me 2-3 minutes. So now we are going to study Tattva Bodha. Once again, we have to start the prayers. Om Sankaram Shankaracharyam Kesavam Vadarayanam Sutrabhashakritam Vande Bhagavanto Punaha Punaha Ishvara Garudatmete Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyavadvyapta Dehaya Sri Dachina Murtaye Namaha Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om. So which sutra we have been? Last time I think we need to study Purvartha Samaptam Uttarardha starts. So last time we studied the sutra number 27, right?
We went to 29.
29. Correct. So let we shall start now. Yes. So let we shall start Tattvavada Sutra number 30. And the total sutra with Tattvavada is 43. So let us see. 13 sutras still we have to study. They say एतेषां पंचतत्त्वानां मध्य आकाशस्य राजसंसाद्वग्ने इन्द्रियं सम्भूतं वायो राजसंसात् प्राणि इन्द्रियं सम्भूतं वर्णे राजसंसात् पादेन्द्रियं सम्भूतं जलस्य राजसंसात् उपपस्तेन्द्रियं सम्भूतं पृथिवी राजसंसात्य पृथिवीन्द्रिय सम्भूतं. So now they speak about to इन पंच तत्व में से आकाश तत्व के रजो अंश से वाक इंद्रिय उत्पन्न हुई. इसे there is five tattvas. Five tattvas you already understand, and five tattva. आकाश तत्व, the आकाश, five तत्व में आकाश से रजो अंश वाक इंद्रिय उत्पन्न हुई. The वाक means to speak. Whatever you speak, it is coming from the आकाश, from the आकाश तत्व, from the sky. Whatever speak is the sounds coming. Now whatever speak is go to reflect the sounds from the sky, right? Whatever speak, there is no sounds. Without sky, there will be no sound, right? So sound coming from the आकाश. वायु के राजवंश से हस्तेन्द्रिय उत्पन्न हुई. So the hands, the hand, it was it is coming from the vayu, the air. अग्नि तत्व से राजन से पाद इंद्रिय उत्पन्न हुई due to our feet coming from the अग्नि तत्व, the fire, active fire. जल से राजन से उत्पन्न इंद्रिय उत्पन्न हुई. So the upastha, our sex organs coming from the water tattva, from the jala tattva, and पृथ्वी के राजवंश से गुदा इंद्रिय उत्पन्न हुई. So our anus, and that coming from the Prithvi Tattva, from the earth element. So that is the Sutta number 30. Then Sutta number 31. Etesam panchatattvanam samashti rajasansatam prana panchakam sambhutam. Etesam panchatattvanam samashti rajasansatam prana panchakam sambhutam. इन पंचीकृत पंच तत्व से समष्टि राजवंश से पंच प्राण उत्पन्न हुए हैं. जैसे एतेषां पंच तत्वानां, सो इन अपंचीकृत पंच तत्व के समष्टि राजवंश से पंच प्राण उत्पन्न हुआ है. एतेषां पंच तत्वानां समष्टि राजसंसार प्राण पंचकम संभूतम. So this say pancha tattva, when they became united together. So what is the united together? The pancha tattva, the sky element, air element, and fire element, water element, and earth elements. And when they are together, so what comes? The prana panchakam sambhutam, and then prana utpanna huya. That means prana, the pranic energy coming out of when unite of the pancha tattvas, integration of the pancha tattvas. So it means the due to pancha tattva, so one can have the prana. If there is no pancha tattva, there will be no prana. There is no prana. Then say, so, and continuity of that sutra. Sete sampanchatattvanam tamoguna pradhananam. Ete sampanchatattvanam tamoguna pradhananam panchikaranena panchamahabhutani bhavanti. So they say this panchatattvanam samashti rajasansar. So the prana coming from the rajatattva, rajasva, rajasic. Prana is the rajasic. And then what happened when the panchatattva unite, and that the rajas bhava starts, and that is coming from the prana coming from through the rajasa tattva, through the active rajasva actions. Etesam panchatattvanam tamaguna pradhananam पंचीकरणेन पंचमहाभूतानि भवन्ति। इन तमगुण प्रधान पंच तत्व के पंचीकरण द्वारा पंच महाभूत की उत्पत्ति होती है। पंच महाभूत इन तमगुण प्रधान तत्व के पंचीकरण के द्वारा इसे तेषां पंच तत्वानां तमगुण प्रधानां पंचीकरणेन पंच महाभूतानि भवन्ति। सो द पंच महाभूत इसे पंच तत्व and पंच महाभूत. So we have to understand what is the pancha mahabhuta and panchikaran. So the integration of the pancha tattva tamaguna comes due to tamaguna. The panchikaran mahabhutani bhavanti. The pancha mahabhuta, the panchikaran bhavati. So what is the panchikaranam? What is the panchikaran means the five. So now we have to understand the prana coming from the rajasi quality of a five tattvas, pancha tattva. Then, and when five tattvas are united, the tamaguna, due to tamaguna, what comes? Panchikaranam katham ete sambhute sve kama mekam bhutam diddhasamam vibhajya karma karmadham trinim vivastha vyapara mapara mardham चतुर्धाम समं विभज्य स्वार्थ विनिस्वर्धस्सु स्वभाग चतुष्टय संयोजनं पंचकरणं भवते। एतेभ्य पंचकृत पंचमहाभूतेभ्य चतुर्विध स्थूल शरीरं ब्रह्मांडं ब्रह्मांड मध्ये चतुर् दश भुवनानि संभूतानि. Now we have to understand. So what I am reading the slokas is very interesting. The Vedic slokas, Tattva Bodha. If you simply listen and naturally you can awaken this consciousness to understand directly the Sanskrit language. It was the time in India, it was the live language, normal language for common people. People used to speak Sanskrit. Panchikaran katham. They say, what is the Panchikaran? Say, answer is, एक भूत के दो समान विभाग कर एक अर्धभाग को पृथक स्वर की तरफ कर दूसरे आधे भाग को चार भाग में विभक्त कर अपने भिन्न अर्ध भागों में अपने चार भागों के मिलना पंचीकरण होता है. It's very interesting. It's saying, what is the panchikaran? At पंच महाभूत, what happening? It's saying, एक भूत के दो समान विभाग कर. This saying that Pancha Mahabhuta, you already know the Pancha Mahabhuta, the Pancha Bhuta, Pancha Tattva, and Pancha Mahabhuta. So what is that Panchikaran? Say each bhutas, that means is the five elements, right? The five elements you divide, then two different things. And I try to understand this, how this Panchakrita happens. It's in Panchakrita Pancha Mahabhuta se Chaturvida Stula Sarira, Jara, Yuja, Andaja, Swadeja, or Udbija. ब्रह्मांड और ब्रह्मांड के अंतर्गत चतुर्गज भुवन का वेद प्रवेद उत्पन्न होता है. It is a little bit deep study of the metaphysics, and that they try to speak about how the Pancha Mahabhuta and happens. Jarayuja, Andaja, Swadeja और उद्भिजा. ब्रह्मांड और ब्रह्मांड के अंतर्गत चतुर्दश भुवन का वेद प्रवेद उत्पन्न होता है. इसे ब्रह्मांड is there, but after that they call चतुर्दश भुवन. But I don't actually, I try to understand what it is, and there is the difference. So what is that? चतुर्दश भुवन में भू, भुवः, स्वाहा, माहा, जनः, तपः और सत्यम, ये 7 लोक हैं, जिस द 7 लोकस. So called चतुर्दश भुवन, चतुर्दश. So let me see what is the चतुर्दश. So चतुर्दश means actually 14, and this is 7 lokas. So that is the ब्रह्मांड और ब्रह्मांड के अंतर्गत चतुर्दश भुवन. ब्रह्मांड के अंतर्गत. They say that is Brahmanda, the whole universe is one. Brahmanda is something different. The Brahman, that is called Brahmanda. Brahmanda. So this is the Brahman is itself is clear, but within the Brahmanda, that is called Chaturdas Bhavan, the 14 lokas. 14 lokas. So generally we have to go beyond 14 lokas to reach the Brahma loka. So that we have to understand metaphysically. Am I clear that? Because we are living only Bhuloka. So a little bit metaphysics this. Chaturasa Bhuvan, Bhuloka, Bhuvaloka, Swaha, Maha, Jana, Tapa, or Satyam. That is the 7 chakras. What do you study? Om Bho, Om Bhuva, Swaha, Maha, Jana, Tapa, Satyam. 7 lokas. Then A upar ke 7 lok hain. This is the upar ke 7 lok. तथा अतल वितल सुतल तलातल रसातल महातल और पाताल ये नीचे के 7 लोक भुवन हैं. But this is the 7 lokas below Muladhara chakra, right? This is the 7 lokas: atala, vitala, sutala, talatala, rasatala, mahatala or patal. So this is the 7 lokas also below the Muladhara chakra. So as you are human being today, you are in Bhuloka now, right? Just simple common being arrive here. Then you have to awaken these chakras to reach the Satyaloka. After the Satyaloka, again you have to go to another 7 lokas. But here they speak about Chaturdas Bhavana, about 14 lokas. They don't talk about the 21 lokas. So therefore, to understand this Panchi Krita Pancha Mahabhuta ke Chaturvida Stula Sarira. So that is the 4 Sarir here. This is Chaturveda Stula Sarira. Jarayuja, Andaja, Swadeja, or Udvija. But that we have to understand a little bit different. So they say there is 4 kind of Stula Sarira, the 4 kind of physical body. And that they speak about Jarayuja, Andaja, Swadeja, and Udvija. But that I need a little bit of homework to explain better. But to understand after that, in Panchamahabhuta, the 5 Panchamahabhuta, what happening? In Panchakrita Panchamahabhuta, Chaturvida Stula Sariras hota hai. They say these 5 elements, due to integration of 5 elements, what we have? We have the prana, then we have the Annamaya Kosha, or Pranamaya Kosha, or Manamaya Kosha, Anandamaya Kosha, whatever, all koshas we have. But the Brahmana is so different things. And within a Brahmana, that is 14 lokas. So therefore, we have to understand how this Chaturveda Stula Sarir works. Jarayuja, Andaja, Swadeja, or Udvija. So these things need to be understood clearly. But I think we are going to understand a little bit later. Is the then Sutta number 33. So now you have to understand the 14 lokas. But there is 21 lokas above the Sahasra also, after Satya Loka. So let we shall, that is they not clear here. Maybe the need, no need. Stula Sarira, Abhimani Jivanamakam, Brahma Pratibimbam Bhavati, Sa Eva Jiva Atmaneva Prakritya, Jiveswara Veda Drishtim Kalpayate, Kathamidam Chita, Avidopadi Sanatma Jivayitva Chate. इस स्थूल शरीर में अभिमान करने वाला ब्रह्म प्रतिबिंब जीव नाम वाला होता है. Very interesting. Now they try to explain. So very beginning we say स्थूल शरीर, the 4. They say according to Sanskrit, what they say? एतभ्य पंचकृत पंचमहाभूत इव्य चतुर्वेद स्थूल शरीरम Brahmandam Brahmandam Chaturdas Bhavani Sambhutan. So they speak about the Chaturveda Stula Sarira. What they try to speak? Jarayuja, Andaja, Swadeja, and Udvija. This is Sanskrit words, but still very difficult for me to understand. But I tried to explain through these sutras. Stula Sarira mein, in your physical body, in your Jivatma, what happening? Brahma Pratibimba Jivanama Bala hota hai. In your Jivatma, what you are experiencing the reflection of Brahman within yourself. Brahman is there. But when a body is died, you no more experience that the Brahman, no more. You understand me? Although you are the Brahman and Atman, but you are not really experienced. Jiva naam wala hota hai. But generally, we say I am the Brahman, I am the Atman. What happening? But this is not real when you say it, because it is the reflection of the Brahman, and this Jivatman, the physical body gone, your Atma is gone, and the Brahman is gone. So it is not reality. Is the, like I said already, like in many pots, and you put water in the pot, sun is there, but you can see the sun in every pot, right? The reflection of the sun in every pot. But when the pot is destroyed, what happening? You no more can see the sun. Similarly, our physical body, when it die, we no more can experience that Brahman. So we are the reflection of the Brahman even this physical body. वही जीव अविद्या के कारण अपने में ही जीव ईश्वर भेद दृष्टि का आरोप करता है. So due to ignorance, what happening? Due to ignorance, so we are not really experiencing that Ishvara. Ishvara. So we don't see Jiva Ishvara Bheda Drishti ka arop karta hai. So most of the time we see when you are experiencing Jivatma, I am Swami Samarpan. This is called avidya. But when I have vidya, then we experience, no. Yes, I am the Swami Samarpan in general, apparent truth. But general, I am the Atma, I am the Brahman itself. But that is called vidya, that is the wisdom. So when I say I am Swami Samarpan, then we don't see the Brahman at all. Then we see, what do we see? We are separated from the Brahman. We are separated from the Atman. Right? So that is the Brahma Gyan here to understand. So we are actually, we see different, differently. Say, Jiva Ishvara Bheda Drishti ka arop karta hai. So here actually we are object. We object. I am not Atma, I am the Swami Samarpan. So this is called avidya, avidya, avidya. तो इसका उत्तर है अविद्या उपाधि वाला आत्मा जीव नाम से कहा जाता है. से अविद्या उपाधि वाला आत्मा जीव नाम से कहा. Therefore we say जीवात्मा, जीव आत्मा, जीवात्मा. So this is the upadhi. So when you say jivatma, so what is that? That is atma as well. Jiva is the life force. So both are integrated here. So need to understand here. So need to have the, so we supposed to not pretend ego. So iska uttar hai avidya. So when I say I am Swami Samarpan, it's called avidya. And when vidya comes, you say I am the Atma, I am the Brahman, I am the absolute consciousness. So it is just a terminology in Sanskrit, right? After that they say Mayopadi Sanatma, then Mayop, Sutta number 34. Mayopadi Sanatma Isvara Itvachate Evam Padi Vedaja Veiswara Veda Drishtiya Vada Paryatam Tishtate Tavat Paryantam Janma Marana आदिरूप संसारो न निवर्तते तस्मात् कारण जीव एव ईश्वर ईश्वर एव जीव इति तरह भेद दृष्टिम जानियात्. माया उपाधि वाले चेतन को ईश्वर कहा जाता है. माया उपाधि वाले चेतन को ईश्वर कहा जाता है. इस प्रकार उपाधि भेद से जीव और ईश्वर में भेद तब तक रहती हैं जब तक जन्म मरण रूपी संसार निवृत्त नहीं होता है. इसीलिए जीव ईश्वर में जीव ही ईश्वर, ईश्वर ही जीव, इसी प्रकार अभेद दृष्टि करनी चाहिए. सो व्हाट हैपनिंग हियर, इसे माया उपाधि वाले चेतन को ईश्वर कहा जाता है. इस प्रकार उपाधि भेद जीव ईश्वर भेद दृष्टि तब तक रहती हैं जब तक जन्म मरण रूपी संसार. सो we understand that we can make different. Ishwar is different and I am is different. So far we think like that, God is separate from me. That means we are still the life of death and birth. So we can born and die. So they are the life of birth and death continuing. But once you understand Jiva Iswara means our Jivatma within Iswara, in Iswara, Jiva Iswara. So this Jivatma is the pure Atman. Iswara is Jiva, the God itself, the Jivatma. So Jivatma. Say, I am the God, like I am Jivatma, but I say that I am the God, I am the Brahman, I am the Atman. Or this Jivatma is the God. Right? So this is the both are, or within me the God. So therefore, what the Tattvada try to explain you, there is supposed no difference, you and the God. Right? You are the God or the God within yourself. Right? There is no difference. I am the Brahman, I am the Atman, or Atman is within me. Right? The Brahman is within me, not the Jivatma at all. So when you see this, the consciousness unite, oneness is called oneness. There is no difference between you and the God. That is what Tattvada tried to explain, right? Am I clear that? But slowly we will understand. But next time, now I'm trying to read in and Hindi. In future, maybe one time we'll review this Tattvada in future. Then Sutta number 35. It says, Nanu sahankarasya injingyasya jivasya nirahankarasya sarvajna stesurasya chakathama bhedabuddhi sadhuhayor viruddha dharmakanta vaditi chetana stula sakhma sarirabhimani त्वमपद वाच्यो अर्थः उपाधि विनिर्मुक्तं समाधि दशा संपरणं सुध चैतन्यं च त्वं पदलच्यो अर्थः एवं सर्वज्ञत्वादि त्वादि विशिष्ट ईश्वरस्ताद पदवाच्यः उपाधि शून्यं सुध चैतन्यं तत्पदलक्षणं एवं च लक्ष्यार्थमादाय जीवेश्वर भेदे बाधका भावः अहंकारयुक्त अल्पज्ञ जीव अहंकारयुक्त with ego अल्पज्ञ means limited knowledge, limited knowing is the jivatma or ahankar rahit. So without ego, that is called sarvajna Ishvara, who is the God is omnipresent, sarvajna, omnipresent, omniscient, and all pervades. तत्त्वमसि इस वाक्य में अभेद ज्ञान कैसे हो सकेगा, क्योंकि इस जीव और ईश्वर को दोनों विरुद्ध धर्म के आक्रांत हैं. So that two things, when you have ego, we have not proper knowledge, limited knowledge, and when you have no ego, then you have full knowledge, that is called Ishwara, immortality. And how to understand this? इसे जीवा और ईश्वर दोनों विरुद्ध धर्म के आक्रांत हैं. So most of the time we fight each other ourselves. You say, no, God is separate, I'm independent, I'm the independent, God is separate. So that is called virodhabhasa. So this is called virodha, it is fight each other. Actually one has to understand, I'm not jivatma, I am the atma, I am the Ishwar, I am the immortal. So they are supposed to know virodha. Virodha means there is no against of each other. यह कथन ठीक नहीं है, क्योंकि स्थूल सूक्ष्म शरीर अभिमानी चेतन स्वपदम का वाचार्थ है. उपाधि के सर्वथा मुक्त समाधि शासनापन्न शुद्ध चैतन्य स्वम पदम का लक्ष्यार्थ है. इसी प्रकार सर्वज्ञत्वादि धर्म से विशिष्ट ईश्वर तत्पद का वाच्यार्थ है और उपाधि शून्य शुद्ध चैतन्य तत्पद का लक्ष्यार्थ है. इसी प्रकार चैतन्य रूप का लक्ष्यार्थ लेकर जीव और ईश्वर का अभेद होने का कोई बाधक नहीं. So if we are going to understand, in your samadhi, you say Mukta samadhi dasa sampanna Sudha Chaitanya to padam lakhyartha. So through meditation, we are going to understand the pure consciousness, and that pure consciousness is nothing but Iswara, the immortal. And if we are our aim has to experience our aim through samadhi, need to experience that the Sudha Chaitanya रूप लख्यात को लेकर जीव और ईश्वर का भेद होने का कोई बाधक नहीं। सर्वज्ञता धर्म से विशिष्ट ईश्वर तत्पद का वाच्यार्थ है। So what happens? But this is the intellectual understandings. So very beginning you need to understand I'm not the Jivatma, I am the Brahman, and in this concept, and when a person practicing sadhana, doing the meditation, in their meditation, in their samadhi, going to experience the pure Chaitanya, then there will be no difference between Jivatma and the Atma. There is no difference. There is no separate. There is no difference. So what I can say that I am the Atma. Because without Atma, the Jivatma cannot exist. So therefore, and they are one should not make separate. When you make separate, and that is not possible to experience the pure, the Sudha Chaitanya. Sudha Chaitanya means the pure consciousness. This is the intellectual understanding. Intellectual. लोक में भी मुख्यार्थ को लेने पर यदि विरोध उपस्थित होता है तो लक्षण की जाती है। लक्षण का बीज तात्पर्य अनुपातित को माना गया है। तात्पर्य का संभव नहीं हो पाना ही तात्पर्य अनुपातित है। लक्षण तीन प्रकार होती हैं, जह लक्षण, अजह लक्षण और जहज जहद जह लक्षण, भाग भाग त्याग लक्षण। But I have to understand this, what are the words, जिसमें वाच्यार्थ को छोड़कर लक्ष्यार्थ को लिया जाता है। This kind of terminology in the Hindi and Sanskrit also so it's difficult for me to understand these words. जिसमें वाच्यार्थ को छोड़कर लक्ष्यार्थ को लिया जाता है उसे जह लक्षण कहते हैं। जैसे गंगायाम घोष, गंगा में अहिरो की बस्ती, या गंगा का अर्थ प्रवाह न लेकर लक्ष्यार्थ तीर लिया जाता है। जिसमें वाच्यार्थ न छोड़ते हुए लक्ष्यार्थ को भी लिया जाता है उसे अजह लक्षण कहते हैं। जैसे गंगायाम घोष, गंगा में अहिरो की बस्ती। Do you have any translation, Atmanand? So let me a little bit clear. जैसे सोहम देवदत्ता, I am the Devadatta, for example, में विरुद्ध अंश तद्देश इदेश तत्काल इत्काल आदि छोड़कर अविरुद्ध अंश व्यक्ति मात्र को लेकर वाक्यार्थ बोध गया है, बोध होता है। इसी प्रकार तत्त्वमसि से आदि महावाक्यों को भाग त्याग लक्षण उपाधि और अपचिक धर्मों को छोड़ने से पर शुद्ध चिन्ह मात्रा का बोध होता है। So what happened? They try to speak the, for example, I am the Brahman, aham brahmasmi, aham brahmasmi, I am the Brahman. Soham Devadatta, he is the Devadatta, he is the Swami Samarpan. What does that mean? He is the Devadatta, but I am the Brahman. So it is the two things are happening. So if you are experiencing the Shuddha Brahman yourself, and you don't find any difference with the others as well, and you see the same Brahman within all beings, so there is no Veda. Evam Vedanta Vakyartha Sadguru Upapadesena Sarvetva Vibhuteshu Esam Brahma Buddhi Rupanam Te Jivana Mukta Ityachyate. वेदांत वाक्य और सद्गुरु उपदेश से सभी भूतों का जिनकी ब्रह्म बुद्धि उत्पन्न हो गई हैं वो जीव मुक्त कह जाते हैं। So they that by the instruction, by the guidance of the Sadguru, to guide you all the way and to clarify the samsara, the clarify avidya. So what happened? And clarify to understand properly all kind of bhutas, how it works, like what I have been explaining everything. The pancha pranas, the pancha bhutas, for example, pancha mahabhuta, the five sense action, five sense knowledge, and five pranas, mana, buddhi, chitta, ahankar. You need to understand clearly. If you have proper knowledge to understand them, so naturally that you can transcend transformation all the way to have the Brahma Jnana. And such a person is called Jivana Mukta. Such a person became free from all kind of birth and death. And this kind of guidance one has to get from the Sadguru, from the real Guru, and who can guide you on the path of Brahma Jnana, the path of sannyas, the path of sannyas. The people walk path of sannyas generally as per the concept, as per the concept of Vedic science. Actually, no one can guide you to the Brahma Jnana except the sannyasi, because the aim of sannyas to attain the Brahma Jnana. A common person not possible to guide to even Brahma Jnana, not possible, because they don't have that state of the consciousness. Because their consciousness only to live in the samsara, life of the happiness and pleasure. But actually, and one has to study with the Brahma, with the Sadguru, who really can guide to the Brahma Jnana. So everybody cannot guide to the Brahma Jnana. You must understand that today very clearly, right? So sannyasi, because his aim attain the Brahma Jnana. So common persons note, like many people practice yoga, Yogananda, you know, they don't have time to meditation to know themselves. They don't have the time to free from karma. They come 1 hour practice asanas, how to free from stress, that's all, enough. Similarly, there's many gurus are also available in this planet. Everybody cannot guide you to the path of Brahma Jnana, the final liberation, except the sannyasin. Because aim of sannyas to, and they renounce the sannyas, only sannyas, the monk, they can guide you the final liberations. A common person cannot guide you the final liberations. That must be clear, because they don't have the state of the consciousness, and it has to solve externally as well. Am I clear that? If you go gym, so you can study asanas like that, right? So here not I am saying that Swami Samarpani the sannyas and he can guide to Brahma Jnana. I'm not speaking that. I'm speaking the shastras. Only the sannyas, only the sannyasi guru can guide to the path of final liberations. Not other people can't guide you, because they don't have the state of the consciousness to guide. Am I clear? Because why? Because we are engaged. As you are householder, we are engaged a lot of in samsara. So therefore, even you are living in the life of brahmacharya or a grihastha, vanaprastha, you must also get guided by the sannyas. Sannyas is not about to only, and sometimes people say that, oh, you are wearing orange cloth, become sannyas, but even you wear orange cloth, you need to state of the consciousness to wear. I know sometimes some of my students, I initiate them to karma sannyas or the vanaprastha like this. Even they don't have power to wear the orange cloth. They don't have power. They're changing the cloth. They're changing white or normal cloth like that. So to wear the orange cloth, you need to state of the proper consciousness. Because whatever you wear the dress, that's the reflection of your inner projection of the mind as well. Whatever is external, you saw that the inner projections of the mind as well. Right? Whatever you eat, how we walk, how we behave, everything of your inner projections. And whatever you are projected inside, and you reflect outside as well. So therefore, the Brahma Jnana only can give in by the Brahmanishta Guru, and must be sannyas as per the Vedic science. As per the Vedic science, divisible 4 ashrams: Brahmacharya ashram, Grihastha ashram, Vanaprastha ashram, and Sannyasa ashram. And Sannyasa ashram is eligible in enter into Brahma Jnana. And whatever you now learning about Brahma Jnana, but that is one thing is very much benefit for you when you live in the samsara, how to live in the samsara with the harmony and happiness. So don't think about you going to Brahma Jnana and leave everything behind it. No. Same of the study this Brahmajnana, how to dispassion slowly, slowly, little by little, little by little. So we can prepare for the Vanaprastha and for sannyas for the future, so that one day we can achieve that Brahmajnana. So as per Vedic science, so sannyas is eligible to have the Brahmajnana, not everybody. As per Vedic science. As I say that everybody teaching yoga, but how many people leads to samadhi, right? To enter into Atmajnana and Brahmajnana. How many gurus in the yoga? That is the many gurus in yoga around the world, right? Many gurus. And everyone want to guru in the yoga today. But how many actually gurus to leads you to the Brahmajnana to final freedom? That we have to be very clear. Right? That we have to be very clear. So anyway, there is no proper certificate who can give Brahmajnana, but I am speaking as per the Shastras, as per the Vedic wisdom. Understand? So don't take me mistaken. Understand? These are not my words. Brahmanista. So therefore, sannyas, who can eligible to have Brahmajnana? Only the sannyasi has the eligible qualification to have Brahmajnana, the complete knowledge. Then you have to ask me, as a householder, why I supposed to study Brahmajnana? Yes, you need to study now intellectual information, so that little by little, so you can detachment, dispassion from your world and the social life, so that you can have developing happiness and peace, and actually release your life of stress and strain. So you can management of the stress and strain. So this knowledge is going to help you, right? So this is the benefits for you. Forget the Brahmajnana complete freedom, but at least you can live in the peace and harmony at least. So that is very important. Am I clear that? A time will come one day, so you may dispassion completely, or maybe you don't know, like Janaka, Janaka Maharshi, and he have the Videmukti, he have the pure wisdom, although he was a householders, but that is very rare. So we cannot always equal to Janaka Maharshi, the father of Sita. We can't equal to that, right? Like ancient time, many rishis, they have wife and children as well. They also enter into Brahmajnana as well, but that also we cannot compare it, because the life of rishis in ancient time, the life they meant for the others, they meant for the humanity, they meant for the agenda of the whole world, and they are the visionaries. But today we are not. Then as a yoga teacher, as a yoga guru, we teach everything for our family, wife and children, and name and fame and money and bread, butter, chapati, nothing else. Many household gurus like that. But as a sannyasin, you must understand there is nothing behind, nothing behind. Everything is meant for others. Even a sannyasin sitting on a tree, they may have no house, they have no ashrams maybe, but their visions is for the welfare of the whole humanity. And that person, a person is sannyasin who's sitting on a tree, he can give Brahmajnana. He don't need to have big ashrams, right? Manipulations. And many people, many yoga gurus, they make ashrams, either they're Hindu or Muslims or Christian, but they have no actual manipulations, because they have no sannyasa dharma. There are no sannyasa dharma, there are no renunciations. And they're called fake gurus for me. It's called fake guru, who makes such kind of ashrams, called fake yoga gurus. But anyway, whatever they sown, they are going to reap, right? Whatever they put, sown. Whatever the seeds you put the earth, and you are going to harvest the similar. You put the neem seeds, you get the neem fruits. You put the apple tree, apple seeds, you get the apple. So everybody has to responsible their own karmas. But as per my understanding, so there are many ashrams, Brahmacharya and Grihastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyas. So these ashrams are, and the terminology are used for the Vedic science, not for the others. Anyway, nowadays everybody study yoga around the world. That is my guru sometimes, a little bit critic. Say, today, nowadays, many people teaching yoga around the whole world. But how many gurus are live in the peace and harmony? That is my guru says so. How many gurus forget the disciples, forget the students, forget the sadhakas, forget the seeker of yoga. But how many gurus are alive in peace and harmony? That's the question mark. That is, my guru used to make the critic in this way, jokes, he making that. Even my gurus sometimes say that the Rishikesh, it was the time lighthouse of yoga, but today the dark house of yoga. I say, Guruji, I am there also. So I can bring the light. I can bring the lights of the Rishikesh, because I know myself, I am the pure yogi. I have nothing to pretend ego, not the pretending yoga. But at the same time, sannyas is very important path. Sannyas is a state of the consciousness. Sannyas is not only wearing the orange cloth, but wearing the cloth like you are putting the police dress, right? It's a nice uniform. But who can put the uniform? You have to have the qualifications. Without qualified, you can't put the uniform dress of the police, right? Without dress of like army. So without qualified, how can you put the dress? Similarly, if somebody is sannyas, they use the orange cloth. They are most of the state of the consciousness. They have the qualifications, right? Maybe some police are corrupted, but similarly, maybe some sadhu sannyas are corrupted. Are different things. But there is some qualification. Without qualifications, no police can and put the uniform, right? Similarly, the sannyas in need a state of the consciousness to put the uniform. So most of the time, people are afraid to put the sannyas dress because they don't have this. They don't have this consciousness. So sometimes I check myself, not myself. I check with my students, my disciples, who actually receive this kind of cloth and when they can use it. And sometimes I saw that they can't use it because they have so much afraid fear, because they don't have this state of the consciousness to be positive and to clarity of the consciousness. So they try to hide, they try to cheating themselves. So they have no power to put orange cloth. But we are giving orange cloth, how to develop your state of the consciousness so that you can walk path of truth and without doing the bad things, without doing aviveka, and how say, without everything you have to do and very good. So therefore, and so uniform is also helping you, and in order to and saucha, to purify yourself as well. So you can cheat your mind. So therefore, we are afraid to wear even orange cloth. So I'm just speaking that. Why speaking this? This eva vedanta vakye sadguru upapadesena sarve tvopi bhutesu esam brahma buddhi ruptanam brahma buddhi रूपन्ना तेजीव मुक्ता इत्यादि। इसी प्रकार वेदांत वाक्य और सद्गुरु से उपदेश से सभी भूतों को जिसकी ब्रह्म बुद्धि उत्पन्न हो गई हैं. So by the grace of the guru, a brahmagyani guru, a sannyas guru, help and give guidance, give instruction to the common disciples, a common layman, so they can clarify their buddhis in order to attain the brahmagyan and they become free. Am I clear that? So therefore, in ancient time, in the old days, according to Vedic parampara, Vedic traditions, then all the brahmagyan, they never taught to the, when you are brahmacharya ashram or the grihastha ashram or vanaprastha. But when you go to sannyasa ashram, only you can listen the lectures or instruction or guidance from the guru about brahmagyan. Otherwise, they teach three kinds of science: how to have proper educations, how to live in a society, how to marry, how to make children, how to carry your dharma, how to get money, how to make a business. Then they're teaching vanaprastha, how to be vanaprastha, how to withdraw your duties in order to go into sannyas. And once you are entering sannyas, then you are entering into class of brahmagyan. So generally nobody teach you the like such Upanishads. No, in ancient time not. Like you study class 10, but you can't study the book of the MA, Master in the Arts, right? The master degree syllabus, you can't study. You can study only high school syllabus. When you go intermediate or gym, understand me? Gymnastic, how say? Gymnasium in Germany. So you are studying like that. And when you go to the degree, the bachelor degree, you study the same syllabus, but you can't study the syllabus of the master degree. Similarly, the Brahmagyan, the Upanishad, Vedanta, Brahma Sutra, all are the teaching that when we are entering to sannyasa aspects. because this kind of knowledge most of the time is brings hyperactives. So naturally, we are neither going to live in brahmacharya ashram nor going to live in grihastha, even not banapasa, even not you are eligible to go to sannyas. We are temporarily, so I am the Brahman, I am become free, I know everything. So this kind of things and this kind of informations brings to our mind hyperactive, hypertensions as well. Then we think I know everything, I am free, but really you are miserable. And many people like this, either in India and Europe, such a people sometimes end of the day go to the psychiatric or psychologist as well, or mental hospitals. And I see this also, even sometimes like even some sadhus as well. So they are overactive, I call overactives, intellectual overactives. I'm not giving the name of many philosophers like this are called overactives. So Brahmagyan is something different. Philosophers are different, right? Very few philosophers who is become Atmagyan, very rare. Like Socrates is great author, great philosophers, but not like everyone, the great. Nowadays also many people study philosophy, but how many philosopher, the lecturer, the professor in university became Brahmagyani? How many? How many professors in the philosophy? So that we have to look into. Then almost 9 o'clock today. So we have been Sutta number 36. So next time we'll start 37. So I think you need to little bit work out the homework about this Tattva Bodha to know the secrets of the absolute consciousness. To enter into kingdom of the secrets of the truth, secrets of love, secrets of the higher consciousness. And Bodha means to realize, to enlightenment of the secrets. And that is called Tattva. Tattva means secrets of the truth. Tattva Jnana, the secrets of the pure Vidyas, which Vidyas leads you all the way to the Brahmagyan. So it's very interesting today. The subject comes like this. And the words I'm speaking like a sannyas, nobody can teach you this kind of language even to other people. If you go to professor, they don't have such a consciousness to speak with you because we are very confident. So what we are speaking, right? So, and I have such a gurus. And because I have been studying all kind of Brahmagyana, and after my sannyas life with my all sannyas gurus, with my own gurus also study Vedantic, and in traditional monastery only sannyas gurus. In India also are very few ashrams, and they are the sannyasins, only they're teaching the Brahmagyana. Otherwise, they're teaching the science of Kriya Yoga, or yoga, or Hatha Yoga, and all things how to get the bread, butter, chapati, and they giving the mind was for you. Just enter in samadhi, right? They only teaching stress management, nothing else, nothing else. Even study Kriya Yoga, certain extent is the stress management also. So without proper study of the science of Vedanta, very difficult to attain samadhi and clarity or viveka. So therefore you study Vivek Chudamani, right? Atmabodha, Tattvabodha, Upanishad, Gita, and so on. So, but Kriya Yoga is a technique, is help you certain extent of awakening the consciousness, but that is not enough. You need to work hard also. Is the only aim of the Kriya Yoga, awakening of the conscious, awakening of the Kundalini. But you have to work hard to enter into, and that is samadhi. But samadhi not enough also, because sometimes we work hard in our life. We can go samadhi after samadhi. There's many kind of samadhi. But sometimes also in samadhi you become overactive as well. So there no Brahmagyana. So Brahmagyana and Atmagyan need the proper understandings also to awaken of the Viveka. With the Brahmanishta gurus, with the sannyas gurus, only they can. Right? If you have the alcohol guru, so they can, like Chilam guru in India, like Atmanadano, we have a lot of Chilam gurus. So you have Chilam and go to samadhi and enter into the Brahmagyana. Right? That's what I try to speak. So sometimes we have the many kind of gurus. So like this, sometimes a Muslim guru, Christian guru, Hindu guru, a Chilam guru, right? Yoga guru, alcohol guru. So many gurus we have, but the Brahma guru, the Brahmanishta guru is very rare, who can actually guide you the path of Brahmagyan. So if you are very fortunate, and you always need the Brahmanishta guru and a sannyas guru who really and can guide you to the path of Brahman, right? But therefore, many people, they don't like to have sannyas guru. They don't like to Brahmanishta guru. They don't like to have to join the sannyas ashrams because they're afraid. So they are not really very strong to have the real knowledge. The Sudha Vidya, we call Sudha. Sudha means pure Vidyas. Sudha Chaitanya, the pure consciousness. So once again, so you need to have the good karma of the prarabdha, good karma of the past life, so that you can have the proper guru. Even sometimes a proper guru, we don't listen to the gurus, and we also we cannot get the guidance there. We cannot get grace of theirs, right? Even have the sometimes great gurus, but still, and the spiritual path is long sustainability. So you need to trust, you need to believe, and you need to surrender, you need to be humble. These are the qualifications need, not for one day and second day, third day. You need many life after life, then one day, and you can have the blessed one, and you can have the obtain the grace of the Guru, and then you are attend the Brahmagyan, right? And it is my certain extent some experience in this life, also past life, and fortunately this life, and I have been studying with such a great masters. And I hope you can continue and with your good karma and good merits until you're the Brahmagyan. So let God bless you all to have the chosen the right path, the right gurus, the right masters who can guide you really all the way to the Brahmagyan, so that you can resolve all the difficulties, the samsara, and as well the future and the spiritual attendance. Right? Therefore, we say, Aneka janma samprapta janma karma vidahinaha atma jnana pradhanena tasmai Sri Gurave. So I am not going to jokes with any gurus. You can have Christian guru, you can have Muslim guru, you can have Hindu guru, you can have yoga guru, you can have any gurus, right? You can have the we say machli guru, because sometimes we have the guru who can actually teach you how to catch the fish in the river, right? How to catch the fish. Sometimes we learn how to catch the fish in our childhood. So I used to sometimes see and fishing. So we learn how to fishing and how to put the hands to catch the fish in the mud. So that also guru, right? So it's very interesting that. So we have many kind of gurus. So out of many gurus, the highest guru is the Brahmanishta guru, and after many life, and fortunate ones can really have the right guru and if a right consciousness. So therefore, already you have been studied before in a Vivek Chodamani in Atmad also, and you need to have strong and determinations, strong sankalpa to have that Brahmagyan, and such kind of strong sankalpa only can help you to Brahmagyan. Is Brahmagyan is not only to attain, but in samsara, but how to manage. How to manage peaceful life, how to free from stress and strain, how to have proper understandings. These are very important things, right? So and tomorrow you can have question answers, right? So today, let's conclude. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyati Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyati. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Gurubhyo Namaha. Om Gangnapataye Namaha. Om Aim Saraswati Namaha. Om Klim Kalikaye Namaha. Om Klim Bhadrakalli Namaha. Om Durgaye Namaha. Om Rim Namah Shivaya. Harihi Om. Sankaram Sankaracharyam Kesavam Vadarayanam Sutrabhasa Kritam Vandi Bhagavantau Punaha Punaha Iswara Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagini Vimavad Vyapta Dehaya Sri Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Sri Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Namah Brahmadibhyo Brahma Vidya Sampradaya Kartibhyo Vansari Shiva Mahadbhyo Namo Gurubhya Sarvo Plavarahitaha Prajnanaganaha Pratigartho Brahmevahamasmi 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 Hri Om Om Gurubhyo Namaha. So always I conclude and starts and to prayers to the all the Brahmanishta Gurus who have been served the Brahmagyana to the whole and planets and in many, many civilizations. Very beginning of the civilizations, and they going to also serve and ending of the civilization as well. And these are Gurus that remain eternal. So may the Brahmanishta Gurus and bless us, not bless me, not bless you, bless us to have that the knowledge of Brahman, and let us be free from the birth and death. And let our Gurudev Swami Sivanand and bless you all. Bless you all. Thank you.